Tomorrow, heading to India. After India, on to Barcelona.
They call me a drifter, they say I'm no good, I'll never amount to a thing. Well, I may be a drifter and I may be no good, there's joy in this song that I sing. Saddle tramp, saddle tramp.
Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation here at Cognizant, reporting this week from Barcelona, Spain at the Mobile World Congress 2015. And I have Rob Tiffany from Microsoft with me.
Hey, how's it going, Kevin?
Good. So, Rob, Microsoft is doing big things with a huge booth here this year.
Absolutely. It's cool stuff. We've been doing stuff for years with kind of our partnership with Nokia. We'd have their booth. And we had a big event at the Hotel Rey Juan Carlos each year. We would brand the whole thing with Windows Phone, and we'd bring executives over. This year, obviously, we're all kind of one family. And so yeah, it's been a few years since we've had a big booth here. And so we're back and showing off everything Windows, everything mobility, and then, of course, a lot of our enterprise mobility related stuff as well.
Let's talk about that, Rob. Now, you guys have been late to the game on a bunch of different things, or at least aligning everything up into an enterprise story, but it's coming together, isn't it?
I think so, absolutely. Kind of across the spectrum. If I talk about just phones, let's just talk about handsets for a while. If you kind of look at the space, I know you look at all the stats and you go, oh, excellent, Windows Phone. But, kind of our strategy of late has been these lower-end Lumia devices, the 600, 500, 400 series, going in, all kinds of different markets. Actually, we're really killing it in Europe, but especially in the UK, actually. So lots of places we're over 10%, we're 20%. Many places we're the number 2 phone. Certainly in most emerging markets, we are able to manufacture phones at a super low cost, still make margin on it, and get it out there and undercut Android. And the great thing is that Windows Phone, we're on phone 8.1 right now, and we've got phone 10 in preview, and that's a whole other thing. But the thing is that operating system runs great on really low-end hardware, and so you can kind of see a nexus of things coming together. A lot of companies had some pent-up demand, especially in the enterprise, for phone 8.1, because we added in tons of manageability features, tons of new security offerings, the VPN, tons of stuff with that. And a lot of companies were waiting for that. And so kind of what we're seeing, aside from obviously you have the BYOD thing coming, but it's not a trend, but anecdotally, the whole corporate liable thing, BlackBerries, that we're seeing large companies around the world deciding to go with Windows Phone for their employees because they're cheap, they're low cost, they meet their security and manageability requirements, and they're like, okay. And we're seeing that happening a lot. Not to mention just sales coming up from the low end. Obviously, at the high end, the iPhone 6, and the Galaxy devices, yeah, that's another game, and we'll just stay tuned for that one. But absolutely, our strategy has been this kind of price point, being able to be affordable and be able to get to a larger group of masses, and so the sales have been good.
So, Rob, talk to us about what some of those enterprise features are that you guys are bringing to the table to support the enterprise.
Making sure that we have all the EMM interfaces in the devices themselves so that it works not only with Intune, we have our enterprise mobility suite, and we could talk about that, but with all the players out there, MobileIron, AirWatch, everybody, and have a rich functionality around that. And then a lot of the security. Obviously, we've always had the BitLocker stuff, but adding in the per app VPN, lots of just different networking and encryption and security things, a lot of things. We're very responsive to our customers. They give us feedback, and we work on that stuff. And so we keep pulling that back into the product. And so with phone 8.1, I think we really hit the sweet spot for the security and manageability that our enterprise customers were looking for, where they felt like, okay, I can do the green light, and we can roll these out, and roll them out not just in a BYOD sense, like, sure, we'll support it with Exchange ActiveSync, but, going deep with it. And so it's happening.
So got it. So talk to me about your cloud support for mobility.
Cloud support for mobility. So, wow, there's a lot of clouds out there around mobility. Obviously, from device management, Intune and our enterprise mobility suite kind of starts in the cloud, but it also connects to System Center Configuration Manager. We've kind of, as we've enhanced the product, we did a lot of new features in Intune back in November and December timeframe. And so layering in a lot of more MAM features, mobile application management, especially around Office, managed Office, which is a real sweet spot. People talk about app wrapping their EXEs or putting shims around that kind of thing, either SDK or non-SDK wrapping. I think a big game changer for us is something we did with Office. Particularly, we launched Office for the iPad, earlier last year. And so being able to launch this kind of managed Office that has all that stuff baked into it, been really attractive to customers. And so I think that's been a big differentiator on our device management stuff. Obviously, that starts in the cloud. And you can see when we talk about our enterprise mobility suite, it's identity, it's rights management, so Azure Active Directory Premium. AD is kind of how the whole world does identity, They don't even have a Magic Quadrant for it anymore because there's just us, right? I know there's lots of LDAP stuff going on, and so the way most customers are going to the cloud is they're extending AD to the cloud. So Azure Active Directory and Azure Active Directory Premium and our sync technology so they can extend their on-prem enterprises out to Azure. And so then take advantage. You've seen the growth in sales around Office 365. It's just hockey sticking. So a lot of these cloud assets all use the same stuff, right? They're all using Azure Active Directory, similar kind of tenant model. And so AD Premium, the Azure RMS, when we talk about kind of, and I know you and I have talked about this before, when we think about EMM all up, it's MDM as a pillar, MAM as a pillar, but then information management, getting more granular, right? And so we're really finally hitting all that stuff and doing it well. So I think MDM, I think there's a lot of parity in MDM, in the core, just managing devices. But the MAM stuff, we're hitting on all cylinders and obviously doing value-added stuff with Office. And then having Azure Rights Management, being able to apply policies and have security where data travels, data at rest, anywhere. That's a hard thing to do. It's not trivial.
Well, welcome to the market. This is awesome. I love hearing it. I know you're involved in this and you guys have always been here, but I think you're getting some of the press you've deserved for a long time.
Absolutely. We've been slugging it out for a while. Also in the cloud with mobility, on the app dev side, we have something called Azure Mobile Services. If you're familiar in the marketplace of things like a mobile backend as a service kind of thing, kind of the cloud next generation of MEEPs, right? So we've had that product, and it's really coming into its own and featuring, we've got API management. There's been lots of API companies, the last year getting acquired and stuff like that. So we have that full API management suite. We just, over the holidays, launched offline data sync technology, which I know you and I probably remember building lots of those field service apps that were syncing with replication. This is the next gen of that. We've taken a dependency on SQLite since it runs on every mobile platform. We've put wrappers around that to do change tracking, conflict resolution, because you're offline. I know this is hitting home for you. All that stuff, and it's all syncing with the cloud. Can sync with Azure SQL Server. It could also sync with other back-end systems up there. We've also done a good job. You can't have your head in the sand about the cloud. Obviously, our customers have most of their stuff in their data centers, and so you probably remember BizTalk. We've got BizTalk online, and we can use that to tunnel. So if Azure Mobile Services is syncing your Windows phones and iOS and Android devices, it can go up through the cloud and go right back down through secure tunnels to SQL Server on-premise and things like that. So we're not leaving those folks out. And obviously we do lots of things that MBASs always do, make things easier. We make it easy for your enterprise mobile apps across platforms to authenticate with Azure Active Directory, push notifications, that kind of stuff, make all that stupid simple, right? So it's fun. So we're really kind of getting the whole package going.
That's awesome, Rob. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, what's your Twitter handle?
At Rob Tiffany.
All right.
Tiffany.
All right. So everybody, let's follow Rob.
Excellent. I like that.
Thank you.